Alright, so before I decided to turn on my camera and talk about Smack Volume 6, I decided to sleep on it real quick. I was wild tired yesterday from training. I got my first pro fight coming up next Friday in Mexico, so it wouldn't be the right time to turn on the camera. But I gave it some time to think about it, think about the battles that I saw and everything in the event as a whole. And y'all could say that like maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh on like my criticisms and opinions of this event, but I'm just speaking as someone who's physically been to so many Smack events in the past, and obviously as everyone else is a fan, has watched so many battle events from home. But my opinion, if I'm being like bluntly honest, I feel as though, and I hate to say it, but I feel as though Smack Volume 6 was like, honestly, like one of the bottom 5 like worst Smack events I've ever seen, if I'm being real. And for me to say this, I'm usually not the person who's like, yo, this event was bad, this one was trash, this event was whatever. I'm usually the person who's like everyone else, like, yo, the event was ass, and I'm trying to like, nah, but this side, but like this one, I'm gonna be real, like this one, nah, it wasn't it. I'm not even necessarily gonna do like some monster recap of the battles. I'm just talking more so about the setting in which battle rap has changed for 2020, and ways that I understand Smack and them are trying to be, follow the innovators, not the imitators. They're trying to be innovative and stuff with creating new looks and stuff for the battles, but at the end of the day, there's a time when you're trying to do something new, but doing that something new is just doing too much. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though with this event, they were doing too much. So one of the flaws with their decision to do it, and I don't know if this was like a set, like Caffeine owns a studio and it's like a set, so it looks like it's outside, but it's actually just a set. I don't really know. I would imagine it was actually like outside space that they like, bought off and blocked off. But it was just, everything was super weird and awkward from the start. And the first and main flaw of Smack talking about, we're taking it back to the street corners, back to the essence, we on the corner. Y'all weren't on the corner, bro. Like the homies standing in the background, whether it be like a couple entourage members or just battlers who were, featured on the event, gonna battle later on, stuff like that, or just a couple people from the staff, whatever. Like whoever was on the corner was not battling. The battlers were like in the street, mad far away from everyone else who was the crowd. If you want to take it back, like I said, 2020, it's a year of coronavirus, of people's pockets getting tapped crazy by, the government not canceling rent or at least cutting it by half, only getting one stimulus check in the course of like 9 months or something like that. Just 2020 is a wild year, you know what I'm saying? But, and I understand that with like social distancing and stuff, you have to, implement different ways to make things happen, new protocols, obviously. But for me, with these events, everyone gets screened for the coronavirus and stuff like that. So if everyone's coming back negative, there should be no reason why you have everything so spread out. I don't know if they're trying to just kind of, in a sense, flex. Like, look, we got this budget behind us now. We could put together this and this type of setting. We could have a battle over here, we have a battle over here, do it on the street. But the old school street battles, the crowd was right around the battlers. The crowd was right around them. So the fact that you had like a football field length distance between the people who are performing and the people who are there to give reaction and energy, the reaction and energy is so far away from the battlers performing that it throws off everything. Also, the setting was mad weird with like the car over on the left side and the car over on the right side, and their headlights are on, and it was strange, yo. And honestly, I felt as though the setting and just the distance, the social distance between the battlers and the crowd, it affected even the good battles, like Geechee and Goods. Dope battle, but it affected that. Arsenal, Jerry West, dope battle, it affected that. B-Dot Chilla, even though B-Dot had his moments of slipping up, still dope battle. Danny and Ill Will, you know what I'm saying? Dope battle, but ultimately the impact of the battle, just based on like the setting, playing on the part of the battle and the energy that gets produced from it, everything was thrown off from the moment the cameras turned on. So for me to smacking them, like the battle event, but like that I would say is like super, like the bottom of bottom 5 was, at least for me being there personally, not from people necessarily watching from the crib. Like, you know, if you all you saw was it being on YouTube, you won't have the same perspective as I do. But the battle event from being there live in person, that was like the worst ever in my history of life, was SM3, Summer Madness 3. And the reason being is because we were there standing up. Where were we at? It wasn't Webster. It was stage. It might have been. I think it was stage 48. That's when Mav snuffed Sirius Jones. I think it was stage 48. And we're standing on our feet, nowhere to sit, nowhere in sight to sit. There was like a couple tables up top, but them joints got scooped up in 5 minutes. Nowhere to sit. We were standing for like 12 to 13 hours, no lie. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. 12 to 13 hours, your feet hurt, your shins, your calves, your quads, your hamstrings, everything seizing up. You have muscle spasms, you like twitching and shit. Your back, my back, I would go to these events back in the day, my back would be just like stiff. Like, I couldn't move my shit for the next like 5-6 days. Like, back in the day, if I had a fight coming up, I couldn't even go to a battle event before I'm like, yo, bro, like, it's gonna fuck my body up for the fight, for real. But Summer Madness 3 was like the bottom of bottom 5. But for me, just as like a viewer standpoint from being, you know, from a distance, Volume 6 was coming close, man. Volume 6 came close. I saw in the comment section, Yoshi G, she wrote a comment about how some of these battles, like, or most of these battles needed to be on a stage. They needed a crowd. And some of these battles would have shook a crowd if they were on stage. And I feel as though, like, while, you know, we might not be allowed to have maximum capacity in certain spots like that, I'm wondering, is having certain battles that people have been waiting years and years and years and years and years to see, having them at this time with social distancing being such, and the coronavirus pandemic, vaccines, is it going to work, is it not, with that being such like a factor in all aspects of performing arts, whether it be a physical, basketball, boxing, sport, filmmaking, theater, battle rap, etc., regular hip hop shows, or just rock, pop shows, stuff like that. With social distancing being such a factor, should we wait to see or to set up battles of like monster caliber for when the world gets to normalize and go back to how it was before, where we can actually pack a venue? Because I'm not going to talk about this in this one right here. I'm going to say this in a separate thing. But K-Shine versus Pat Stay. Without going too crazy into it, that is a battle that, at least for Pat Stay, for his sake, it should have happened with the stage, with the crowd, with that energy. I feel as though battles that we've been waiting so long to see are now getting like compromised and sacrificed, in the sense, because we're hype as fans. Like, on paper, my prediction blog for this event, I thought I called this not Smack Volume 6, I was calling it Smack Volume Classics, because on paper, all those battles had the potential to be classics. But then you're watching it, and it's the setting. It's not necessarily, I mean, the battlers as well, memory or whatever, the way that they dealt with the setting. But the setting in which where the battles took place, with the distance and stuff like that, and it was just a weird vibe. Like, I feel as though we, the fans, and the battlers as well, because their performance is getting messed up, and Smack the League, everything's getting messed up by, you know, trying to put on certain events in these like new creative outlets and these new creative spots. And some of these battles, man, I feel as though, even though like we want stuff to happen now, some of these like big battles, like, we can't see nobody's Loaded Lux versus JC in this setting. Hell no. We can't see a Loaded Lux versus B-Dot, Loaded Lux versus Chilla Jones. You know what I'm saying? In this type of a setting, it's going to mess the battle up. Period. I don't want to see Murder Mook come back and battle in some weird ass street. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we got to be a little bit more patient and wait till the world gets back to normal. But yeah, man, the setting, Smack. I know y'all got the big budget. Y'all got Caffeine, you know, rocking with y'all and everything. But dogs, tone it down. Doing too much sometimes and trying to be too creative. I salute you for the creativity and trying, but this wasn't it, my man. This wasn't it.